Hi, everyone. My name is Vivian Chen. I'm an associate professor from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore.
And I'm Valerie Yi, a PhD student also from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore.
Today, we'll be presenting a prosocial game named Icebreaker. Let me start with explanation about why we want to create the game. In the globalized and culturally diverse world, it is important for everyone to get along with people from different backgrounds. We believe that video games are a very good medium for people to experience social interaction with culturally different groups and also hopefully facilitate prosocial attitudes. We will take you through the gameplay and also explain the study that we did.
We designed Icebreaker as a short role-playing game that primarily uses narrative storytelling coupled with interactive gameplay elements like mini puzzles and challenges. Players take on the role of the protagonist, an ice gatekeeper whose duty is basically to protect the town from a yearly supernatural disaster. In the game, the player goes up against the antagonist, who is framed as an evil person whose kind have been banished from the town. Through the course of the game, the player discovers the truth about the antagonist and the history of the town, revealing that they were actually wrongly banished and misunderstood rather than evil. On top of this, players will also realize that they need to cooperate with Zork, the banished villager, in order to successfully get through parts of the game. The main aim of the narrative is to create a comparison point for players between the in-game story to that of real-life interactions they may have had with people from different cultures and backgrounds, in the hopes of promoting empathy and attitude change through a form of perspective taking. We also ran a series of experiments that were based on Icebreaker and found that generally, players did report a significant improvement in attitude change immediately after playing the game. The change here refers to short-term effects, and we have yet to explore long-term effects on attitude so far. That being said, what we found is in line with a lot of existing theoretical and empirical evidence that links storytelling to attitude and behavior change through mechanisms such as transportation and narrative involvement. In our experiments, we also tried manipulating other aspects of gameplay such as agency in choices, emotional valence of music, and consequential outcomes. Unfortunately, in our case, the way we modified these mechanics didn't reveal any additional insight in terms of empathy and attitude change. For example, we tried to introduce different consequential outcomes for certain events based on the choices players made in-game. But we tried to do so without interfering too much with the main storyline, so it might not have left much of an impression on players compared to the main story. This is actually one of the things that we're still currently working on refining and exploring further in the research that we do here in NTU. Because it's always a little tricky to find a balance between a good experimental manipulation and one that also makes sense in the context of games and gameplay. So some of the additional areas that we've also been actively working on include exploring how theory and gameplay can be cohesively intertwined in game design, and how meaning and enjoyment coexist in these serious games. So feel free to let us know if you have any ideas on these fronts. We'll be glad to have a chat with you.
Thank you for watching the presentation. It's been a pleasure to be able to share our experience with you. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any additional questions, and have a good day.